ha. This is the good stuff. This is the gold. Hi, episode 2 of, I don't know, Homesteader tips. I don't know what to call this. Today I'm going to talk about food waste or preserving your food and things like that. I got an Amazon Fresh order just now, and I'm going to go check it out. And then I'm going to go through my fridge, talk about how to preserve things, talk about what I got, things like that. Okay, I just saw a video on Instagram that says you should be wiping down everything that comes into your house, so I'll be doing that before I put all these groceries away. So here's my Prime, Amazon Prime Fresh delivery. Yeah, more packaging than I would want, but what are you gonna do? This, I don't know what this is. I got a whole raw chicken, because I'm gonna make roasted chicken and broth. And maybe I'll do a video about that too. I'm gonna do that thing where I sit on this trash for 4 days thinking about what I can do with it. It is an insulator, so it could come in handy. Shout out to my sweater, which I darned by hand. Hey! I was gonna go through and kind of talk about what needs to be refrigerated and what doesn't need to be refrigerated. As a general rule, Americans tend to way over refrigerate, but during a time like this, some things are better refrigerated. So yeah, instead of going through it one by one, I'm just gonna encourage you to start Googling how to store blank based on whatever is in your fridge. Google, and actually I will say not Google, I'll say Ecosia, E-C-O-S-I-A, is a search engine that is exactly like Google, but instead of making money, they plant trees for everything that you search. So, quick plug to Ecosia. What's in my fridge? I did clean this. I'm not a monster. Okay, so I've got some old apple juice. I've got some old dips. I should probably eat these. Just kind of take stock of what do I need to eat, and tailor your meals around that. Quick shout out to my seeds back there. If you have seeds, put them in the fridge because they're better. Seeds can actually go bad, so yeah, put your seeds in the fridge. This is looking a tiny bit sad. I'm probably going to use that soon. This pepper is looking, let me see if I can get the light, is looking very sad, but it's still good. You can see it's not breaking down. This is the kind of thing that you would want to just saute, and honestly it would be fine. This is good. This is a perfectly good onion. This is, let's see, this is some rice. I smelled it earlier. It is still good. Smelling is your friend. If it smells okay, your body knows it can eat it. So I'm probably going to eat this for dinner today. I'll probably make some chicken broth and just put it in there, and maybe I'll use this zucchini too. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was these are carrots. I'm going to do a video about fermenting some carrots, but this is not really the best way to be storing them long term. What you really want to be doing is just putting them in water. Whether or not that's in a Tupperware, or you cut them and you make carrot sticks and put them in a cup full of water. That will make the carrots be crispy and fresh for seriously weeks. This is another good product if you are worried about having enough chicken broth for soup. It's just paste, and it keeps in the fridge for so long. And you just add it to water and you heat it up, and there you got broth. Start treating your vegetables, leafy vegetables, like flowers. I put all of my herbs, kale, lettuce, things like that, in water, in a cup, in a vase. It will keep them so fresh. This has literally been in here for 10 days, and it's literally just good as new. Just think about the way it's being stored at the grocery store. These are bad, but look at this. This is totally edible still. Yeah, they want to be wet. If they get dry, they're gonna go bad. You might be surprised how many things you can actually freeze. I would Google what can I freeze? And there'll be a list of here, did you know you could freeze butter? milk, bread. Like, you can freeze so much. But specifically in the next few weeks, you know, we're going to want to keep healthy. We're going to want fresh vegetables, and a really, really good way to preserve vegetables for a very long time is freezing them. I have frozen, and actually this is like a money saving tip, but I bought fresh green beans, and then I flash froze them on a pan, and then I put them in this Tupperware, and they will be just as fresh and nutritious as they were when I bought them at the store 2 weeks ago. I also freeze things in jars. You just don't want to fill it up to the very top because the the liquid will expand. But you can always freeze things in jars. Keep your jars. Keep them. Just keep them. They are so handy. This is pasta sauce that I made from a bunch of old tomatoes that were about to go bad. I literally just put them in a pan with some oil and some basil and some spices and reduced. And it's, you know, it's a way to save 10 tomatoes from going bad. And I have free pasta sauce, and I put it back in, you guessed it, an old pasta jar. I just put some concealer on because I looked in the camera and I'm like so sick looking, but I guess I am sick. Oh well. I found a few things that I definitely can't use, like these radishes. Not only are they completely dried out in the fridge, but I don't trust these, even if I put them in like a soup or something. Sometimes with things that are a little dried out, you can still kind of rehydrate them in a soup, but for these things, you know, you can't. This is wrinkled, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but if you turn it around, you can kind of see some mold or whatever. So things like these, I do compost. So it doesn't really mean that these things are going to get thrown in the landfill, but they do still count as food waste. Kind of a good like mental reframing if you want to cut down on your food waste is just like thinking about the journey that it took to get to the store and then back to your home and back to your fridge. You know, it had to be planted by someone, it had to be harvested, it had to be watered for weeks at a time, and then it had to be transported to the store. You bought it, you took it home, and then it rots in your fridge. And thinking about it that way, you know, not just with food, but with everything, can really help you kind of like reframe what you want to bring into your life and how to value what you have. So even though these are going to be composted, it's a shame to think about the journey that they took. I've got no fruit at the moment, but I did order those oranges. But right now, just to stay healthy, I've got a lot of fresh garlic, which you can roast, put on garlic toast or whatever. Like, there's so many ways you can use garlic. Obviously, you all know. This kind of started sprouting, but that doesn't mean it's gone bad. It does mean that I could plant it in my garden, but I probably won't. I'll probably use this one first, and it doesn't hurt to eat this. Actually, these are technically edible anyway. Here I have a really old pepper, and this is still good. It's just dehydrated. It's just dried out. You know, you see dried chilies all the time, and it's just going to be more potent. So I might use this at some point, and I'm not really in a rush. These I actually did take from my garden like a while ago, and they've just been in here. Onions last a really long time. These, obviously, I'm just going to plant in my garden again, and they'll become full-sized onions. Plants are really cool. This is one of those basil plants that you buy at the store, those like living basil plants. I've been keeping it watered in this little container. This used to be, actually, this I was able to reuse as this. These are my little, like, I don't know. I save a lot of stuff. But here we go, like, this is being useful. I'm going to do a video showing you how to propagate a plant like this so that you can actually make like 5 times the amount, or like up to 100 times the amount technically, because that's how propagating works. But yeah, this will be a future video. This is some leftovers that I'm going to eat today with like an egg and maybe some toast. These potatoes I actually got from my garden, And this container I did not buy. This is a container that I got at the grocery store when I bought some like vegetables at the deli. So like, save your containers. You'll be surprised how much trash is actually not trash. This video is going to be so long, but I kind of just want to show you a quick look into my cupboard. Ooh, there's an extra. Ooh, I found an extra soup. I've got pumpkin seeds. They are very, very high in protein, so if you're going to get any seeds, I would recommend these. This is dehydrated garbanzo flour, so you can make hummus with this, and it lasts forever, and you can make it only as much as you want. This is TVP, textured vegetable protein. It sounds really gross, but it's basically what the soy rizo is made out of at Chipotle, and it's for vegan, like, protein and enhanced things. I also decided to get, I guess I need more alcohol. I also decided to get a jar of jalapenos because instead of buying fresh jalapenos, if I wanted some kind of like hot in my food, I could just use this and it would last me much longer. Oh, and I also wanted to show you this. Basically, I made almond milk, and the pulp that's left over, a lot of people throw it out. But what I did is I spread it on a little pan and I put it out in the sun and it dried. So now when I want to make, next week I'll probably make banana bread and I'll add this in and it'll have an almond banana bread flavor and yeah, so you don't waste this. Here's another interesting thing that I kept. This is if you have leftover crackers, bread, things like that. You can blend. I didn't do a very good job of blending these, but you can blend stale bread till it's powdery and use it as breadcrumbs. I might put this on, you know, some mac and cheese or some kind of baked thing that I want to do. So yeah, and I kept it in an old garlic jar. Save your jars. Okay, I think that's all I can think about for now in terms of food waste. I'm sure I will have a lot more to say in some other episodes. I do want to talk about, sneak peek for the next episode is, you know, saving your stuff. I have ideas for all of these things and I can share in the next episode. I am out of work, and just a quick plug that you can tip me on Venmo if you like these videos. Bye, friends.